Hello and welcome to the 2025 PlayStation Platinum tier list. So we're going to go through all the 40 Platinum trophies I earned in this year, and we're going to rank them on a tier list from Triple S to D. There we go, added in Triple S, 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 and S. Probably not going to expect too many up in the top tiers, but we'll see as we go through them. So just a quick wrap up of the trophies, Platinum trophies that I earned. You can see these 40 here. I would say that this year was probably closer to a year of, I guess, cleanup is what I would say. But looking at the pictures as I was downloading them, I'm not too sure if that's 100% true, but we'll get into it a little bit more. So a little bit of stats. This year we earned 1,412 bronze trophies, 409 silver trophies, 144 gold trophies, and 40 platinums for a total of 2,005 trophies for the year. Now, if we put that into days, that's roughly 5.5 trophies a day. Pretty good, I'd say so myself. So let's get through the list. The list is currently in ascending to descending order. So this is what I earned at the beginning of the year. This is what I earned at the end of this year. So closest to 31 December 2025. So I guess we'll start with Space Marine 2. This was a really good game. I played Space Marine 1. I never platinumed it. It's on my PS3. It's something I need to go back to. The multiplayer trophies for that game are sort of putting me off because it's a big grind, but nevertheless, I do need to go back and at least complete the campaign and to clean up for those trophies there. But overall, I thought Space Marine 2 was a great game. I'm a little bit disappointed they keep adding new DLC but no new trophies, and for that reason I'm going to give it a B. It's a very solid game. The platinum took me about 40 hours for this one, 40-60 hours. It wasn't too bad. It was a lot of grinding in the end, but there's heaps of new content coming out for it. It's a solid game. It's a very good looking game. I thought the story was okay. The story was fun in parts, and it was a little bit short, but it was pretty enjoyable. I thought it was pretty good. Moving on to our next game, Flooded. You can't really see the picture here, but it's a little indie game. This game is hard to describe. I bought it for about, I can't remember how much I bought it for. It was a new twist on survival management sort of thing. It's a game where you don't really get, it's a base building game, but you always fail, right? There's no way to actually win. It's just how long you can survive for. It was pretty alright. I played, it was, it was like a sort of something I played before bed here and there. Overall, the trophies weren't too bad. It was a little bit of a pain to get some of the endless trophies because you have to have the right skills and stuff like that. And like I said, there's no way to win. It was very hard to just survive essentially. And some of the survival trophies were quite hard because of that, because you have to survive for so long. For that reason, I am giving it a D. It's an alright game, but it's nothing special. Okay, I added in two new categories, E and F. Not sure we'll need them. Hopefully we don't need them, but just thought it would be nice to have a proper range of trophies, of scores for the trophies here. So what's next? Ooh, Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection. Now this is a game I was looking pretty forward to be honest with you. I'm gonna put it in E. I'm gonna put it in E, and I'm gonna defend my reason why. The Classic Collection, I know there was a lot of complaints on PC that it was just like a reskin of the already available game. I get that, I do. But this was the first time for PlayStation users, I'm not sure about Xbox users, but PlayStation users, where we could play the classic Battlefront 2 and 1 games on the PS5, PS4 sort of collection. So I was looking forward to it for that reason. Now, on this one is a little bit interesting. I remember reading an article before this game came out, and it was a developer interview, and one of the questions was quite interesting. It was, what is your favorite trophy in the game? And the developer essentially said it was this trophy where you have to use the Force, push another Force user over the edge and kill them. And I thought, oh, that's a pretty interesting trophy. Is it one of those ones where you got to do random to get? It's okay. And then the game comes out, and that's the only interesting trophy there is. Every other trophy is complete the campaign for Battlefront 1, complete the campaign for Battlefront 2, and then it's really just unlock these different class types on Battlefront 2, and that's it. And the only real way to do that efficiently was play the Geonosis tutorial mission, because for the heavy class with the rocket launcher, there's no way to get weak shot points in a row on a vehicle without dying in any other map other than the Geonosis map, because the vehicles just spawn consistently there. And so the trophies on this game were horrendous, honestly. It's a really fun collection, I think, on the PlayStation. If you're on PC, I don't know, I can't judge on PC, but overall the games, they're fun to play, they're fun classic play, but the trophy's just horrendous. I hated it so much. Alright, next up on our list is Startup Company. I'm not sure where I'd put this one. I don't think it's not as bad as, it's definitely a C for me. This game is essentially a game where it's another management game. I love my management game. There's a couple in here that we'll get to, but I thought this game was okay. It required a lot of AFK work at the end once I set my company up, because you had to win you can win in 3 different ways. I can't remember the exact ways, but there's one where there's like 3 different win trophies, and for one of the win trophies, you had to essentially absorb. Oh no, there's like social media, video. What do you call it? Video service, data company. There's like you have to win through each different type of startup you can do, and it required a lot of just AFK, just getting to the point where you're the #1 company in that area, and you've bought out every other company, right? Overall, I thought the game was pretty fun, but it did get stale a bit towards the end. The trophies were all right. There's nothing really special about this game. Again, like just flooded. It's a standard sim game. It's pretty fun. There's really one way to make money, and that's using servers. Once you get those servers going, you just lend those out, and you make a whole bulk bunch of money, just pretty much like what Amazon does. They've figured it out, and it works the same in this game. So it's true to life, but I thought it was a fun game. I enjoyed playing it, but there's nothing to write home about. It's nothing special. It's not above the sea, and it's not below a sea either, so it's there quite nicely. Okay, another sort of management game. This one was a cleanup. Then I went back and did Planet Coaster. I got about half the trophies when the game first came out on PlayStation. I think it came out pretty much right on the launch of PlayStation, actually, if memory serves me right. And I bought it then on disc. I came back to it a little bit later to just clean up some of the trophies. Again, this one's a C. It might be a little bit better. It might be a B. I can make an argument for B. It's a fun sim game. It's really good. Love the music on it. It's like, the music is fantastic. That menu music I can listen to all day. I'm going to put it in B. I am going to put it in B. I think it was a solid game. The trophies were pretty fun. Essentially, you had to do the whole campaign, then you had to play sandbox on hard mode, which was really fun. Overall, I thought the game was pretty good, actually. Yeah, I think it's a B. I think it's a B. And when we get Parkitect, I'll do Parkitect now, actually. So Parkitect's a very similar game to Planet Coaster. If I could put it into a description, Planet Coaster is like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Parkitect is more like Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 in terms of art style. Parkitect, I'm going to put in D just because of the bugs. Parkitect is a really fun game in the same sense that Planet Coaster is a really fun game. However, it does not scale well. Once you get a lot of guests in Parkitect, the game starts lagging, it starts crashing, and you lose your save file, right? You lose hours of work on your parks, and you have to have the game running for so long because you have to earn, I can't remember the exact amount of money, but it's like $20 million in profits you have to earn. And that's down from when the trophy first came out. I think it was like 500 million or 100 million when it first came out, but that's still a lot. I still had to have this game on a day on the background, just churning money. And like I said, if it crashes, you lose a good amount of hours. And then there's the bugs, some really weird trophy descriptions. Like the trophy would say do X, but you have to do Y and Z to get to X, or for X to actually count. One was the security guards. For the security guards, you had to essentially arrest a bunch of criminals, but the security guards can't do it. You have to do it. So you have to watch the park, watch someone do something criminal, like, for example, destroy a bench, and then you had to banish them from the park yourself. You couldn't just wait for the security guards to do it. You had to physically do it. I did learn that there was a way around it where you could just ban and unban constantly the one person you do find, and that gives you the 40 necessary or whatever it was required. I didn't find that out until later, but it's just silly little things like that, and that's why it's a D. It's not a very good list. The game is fun. It's a little bit buggy, but it's like, it's okay. It's okay, yeah. All right, the next one on our list is Sonic Frontiers. This one was a PlayStation Plus extra game, I believe. I'm gonna put this one in C and then talk about why. So from here on, I'm gonna just put them in the category, and then I'm gonna defend it, or at least talk about it. Sonic Frontiers I thought was a fun game. I had COVID during this time, so I was bedridden for like a week off work. This is at the beginning of the year. This is around, oh, actually I can't remember when it was. I thought it was around the beginning of the year, but yeah, so it was around the beginning of the year. Had COVID, feeling under the weather, so I played through Sonic Frontiers for the week. I'd smashed it out. It was a really fun game. I thought it was pretty alright. It's one of those games where to get the Platinum Trophy, you don't have to do anything special in the Sonic levels. Like, you don't have to collect everything and 100% them and be a wizard at it, which I think some of the previous Sonic games you do have to. In this one, you have an overworld where you have levels inside of the overworld. In the overworld, you have to collect everything, do all the thingos and all that sort of stuff. It's not too hard. Everything shows up on the map. It's really easy. I thought it was a fun game. I thought it was a fun collectible game, but it's nothing to write home about. It's a very average game. It's probably like a 6 out of 10, I would say, which fits the category of C. Trophy list was good. Nothing to complain about, nothing to write home about, and that's why it gets a C. It just fits the category nicely. Okay, Pure Tetris 2. This one's a hard one for me to place, actually. This is the first game that came out in English. I played through the first Pure Tetris, but that only came out in Japanese. It's still easy enough to play through in Japanese. You can sort of guess what menus are and things like that, but this is the first one that actually come out in Japanese. In English. Picked this one up for about 10 bucks on sale, or disc version, on a clearance, which was good. Took me a while to actually get around to it. I probably probably had this disc for about 2 years before I even actually started playing it, but it's a quick, easy platinum. Nothing too special. It's pretty much the exact same as the first one, just a little bit easier. Yeah, it's just like get a whole bunch of stars in the campaign. It's pretty easy. Do a whole bunch of things, like get 100 million, I can't remember the correct word, but like destroy 100,000 Tetraminos, and then pop 100,000 Pure Pures. For that one, just rubber band speed. It's like you have to AFK it, but it's like you can play through it as well. I thought it was, yeah, like I said, I thought it was okay. It's an okay Tetris game. It's pretty good. If you like Tetris, I think you'll like this game. I think it's like a anime style Tetris. I think it's pretty fun. Got a good co-op mode. Online mode is a bit dead. I can't remember if there was online trophies for this one or not, but yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. Up next, we have Shovel Knight Pock Dungeon. I'm tempted to give this one an A. I'm actually tempted to move Space Marine up to A as well. I think Space Marine is an A, just because like I was a bit harsh on it when I first put it in B because the DLC doesn't have any trophies, but I think A is where it belongs. It's an A. It's a good game. It's a great game. I really love the game. I think, and the love I have for the Space Marine is why I initially gave it B, because there's no reason for me to come back with no DLC trophies. So that's why I'm going to move it back up to A, because it's where it belongs. It's where it belongs. The trophy list was good. It was encompassing. It was fun. It belongs in A. But onto Pocket Knight Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. I haven't actually played the original Pocket Knight games. This is a game where it was on sale. I wanted to play it. It looked pretty fun. It's essentially, how do I explain it? It's a hard game to explain. It is essentially, it's like a turn-based survival game where you just like, you move around pieces, and each character is like 30 characters, all have their own different skills, and you got to get to the end and beat the boss, and there's like certain challenges along the way you have to do to get these secret keys, and there's a secret boss at the end. And so essentially, to get the platinum trophy, you have to do the secret boss for each character and beat them. And I thought it was pretty fun. I didn't think it gets easier the more equipment items you unlock and things like that, and things you can level up and all that sort of stuff towards the end. Pretty much like after your first character, you never get to the end, but then obviously you keep playing and playing and playing, and then you do get to the end. You get to the end pretty consistently, and then you get all the secret keys pretty consistently, and then towards the last, I'd say maybe even half of the characters, you're pretty much just like, you're always making it to the end. It's pretty easy, and especially with the hat modifiers, which are pretty cool. DLC trophies are pretty good. I thought this was a fun game, honestly. Helldivers 2 came out in a really interesting time. It was a real wild time. Actually took me a while. I had to get this platinum. I had to come back to it actually. I didn't get it in the main heat of things. I got probably, I think 80% of the trophies really quickly in the initial swarm of the heat, but then I had to come back to this one. I think it's a C. And I know I hated on Space Marine 2 for this, and I degraded it, but Helldivers 2 is especially guilty for this one. There is no DLC trophies at all. Every month there's a new war bond, I think they call it, war bond. They've done a numerous amount of updates. I thought for sure when the Illuminati were coming into Helldivers 2 that we're going to get some new trophies, but no, there's been no new trophies for this game at all. And I think that's an absolute shame, even more so than Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 is like, it's not a live service game, but it has live service features in it. So it's hard for me to really judge it based on that. But Helldivers 2 is a live service game at its heart. You cannot play it offline. It's live service all the way through. And therefore it needs to have those DLC trophies to keep us coming back. And I know a lot of people on the trophy forums, they hate DLC trophies because then they don't get the 100% on their profiles and things like that. But for a game like Helldivers 2, it really needs some DLC trophies. Every war band or bond, whatever you want to call it, should have at least 3 trophies attached to it, right? And they should be, unlock everything in the war band, war bond, do something with something in the war bond, 2 of those trophies in something in the war bond, or something like that. Each one should have at least 3. So for example, if there's a new gun in the war bond, kill 100 enemies with the new gun, or 10 extractions with the new gun, or with the APCs that came out and the mechs, it's like complete 10 objectives while inside the mech, or something like that. There just needs to be something to keep people coming back. And I know it might be a controversial opinion, that's okay, but that's my opinion, and so that's why it's a C. Next up is Bear and Breakfast. Now this one's another C tier game, not in the fact that it's very similar to Startup Company. It's a fun game, fun management sim. Essentially you're a bear and you run a bear and breakfast, bed and breakfast, sorry. The game is called Bear and Breakfast. You run a bed and breakfast. Essentially, you do some quests, you get a few more different B&Bs around the world, essentially, or the map, whatever you want to call it, the forest. You do some quests, quests, and then the trophies are essentially tied to the quest, getting a certain amount of guests at each of the B&Bs and having them rate you a certain way and things like that. I thought it was a fun game. I thought the trophies were pretty fun, pretty on par. None of them were too difficult. None of them were very unclear of the objectives. The objectives are very clear throughout. There was a couple that, you know, you had to sort of Google and think about, but overall, it was a pretty good game. I did think the quests were a little bit confusing. It wasn't super straightforward what some of the quests wanted you to do, but overall, I thought it was a fun game, and that's why it's in C. It's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's a fun game. That's really the give it. Arcade Paradise. This was another PlayStation Extra game. Loved this one. This one was so fun. Essentially, Arcade Paradise is a game where you run an arcade, or technically a laundromat with an arcade in the back. And the more your laundry does, the more you upgrade your arcade, and then the arcade eventually overtakes the laundry. There's pretty much, I can't remember towards the end if there was a laundry or not, or if it was, no, it was just a full arcade at the end. Yeah, it was just a full arcade at the end. And yeah, you just essentially run an arcade, and then the trophies were tied to specific things in the arcade games itself. So you have about 30 to 40, I can't remember the exact total, different arcade machines, and each arcade machine had a certain amount of objectives. So each arcade machine was like an old school arcade game, and each one had a certain amount of objectives. You didn't have to do all of them. You had to do some, you had to do a decent amount, but you didn't have to do all of them, which is good because some of those arcade games are absolutely crazy. They're really hard. But I thought the game was a blast. Honestly, the game was real fun. It had so much variety. It was a great management game. It's honestly B tier. Actually, no, it is B tier. It is B tier. It's not A tier. It's not A tier. I'm actually, no, it's B. No, I'm so tempted to move it up to A because it was just so much fun. But I'm going to leave it in B for now. I'm going to leave it in B. And then another good management style game is Dredge. This one was a fun game. It took me a little bit to finish it, admittedly, but it's a fun game. It's a fun fishing game, fun management game. I got a little bit fed up, honestly, with the curses, whatever you want to call them, towards the end when I was trying to clean up and things like that. I ended up turning them off, admittedly, especially in those later game areas where they're just like constantly annoying. Honestly, yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It took me a little while to get this one, but if you're playing, there's certain ways where you can get the missing fish you need a lot quicker than what I did. Yeah, it's a fun fishing game. It's a little bit interesting. It sort of has a story. I didn't really pay attention to it, but yeah, the DLC for this game pretty fun as well. It's just more of the same, a little bit different. You know, one you're in the Arctic, and then another you're rebuilding essentially an oil rig, which was pretty cool. Or both had new types of fish and new types of nets and things like that to do. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Next on our list is another cleanup game, Graveyard Keeper. I don't know where to put this one on, in all honesty. This game had a lot of glitches, especially with the DLC. So I did all the trophies, all the DLC and all that sort of stuff. I had the complete edition. It took me a while to clean up, mainly because I started playing this when it was on PlayStation Plus. It left PlayStation Plus, and so I had to wait for a sale, complete edition, and then, yeah, I'm gonna put it in C. It's probably a B if it didn't have all the bugs with the trophies in it. So you had to make a whole bunch of manual saves. The game started crashing. The game would crash randomly, and so you would lose, if you didn't save recently, you would lose like a whole bunch of time. You know, I lost hours and hours at work sometimes. And so that was a really sour point in it. You could almost make an argument for D just because of those reasons. But I think the game is, at its core, is really fun. It's one of the better management sort of sim games. It's got a very unique style. You know, I can't think of any other games where you're running a graveyard that you turn into a farm sort of situation. You get zombies. If you have the zombie pack, which I highly recommend if you're going for this, you cannot. Honestly, if you're doing this manual without zombies, it's going to take hundreds of hours. But with zombies, all right. You have zombies that do your things for you, and it's just like, it's a fun game. It's a fun game. The progression is really nice. The quests are a little bit confusing because they all require you to do so many different things in so many different days, but everything sort of converges at the same point eventually, and you sort of get a handle on it. I thought it was pretty fun. And if it wasn't for the bugs, it'd probably be B. Because of the bugs, it's a C, and it potentially, you know, I wouldn't hate on anyone if they put it as a D. Next up is Akane. Akane is a old school sort of hack and slash set in like futuristic Japan. You essentially run around as Akane and do a whole bunch of things. This was a tough game. I'm gonna give it an A. I stressed at this game about completing these trophies because they were hard, but I'm not going to D rank the game because of how difficult it was, because it was a difficult game. The art style was fantastic. The progression was pretty good. Each trophy was tied to a different progression item, and the more you progressed, the more you got better. Towards the end, you had to do essentially a full complete run, perfect run all the way through multiple times. Sometimes it was tough. Some of the challenges were tough. I'll be honest, they were tough. But I'm not going to discourage a tough game from being a good game. But it was a good game. It was a good game. An old school hack and slash. A very short game. If you're really good at games like this, you could probably play it in an hour or two, maybe a little bit more. For me, it took a little bit longer, admittedly. I know you look at the PlayStation leaderboards on this one, a lot of people can get it in a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, probably about average. For me, it took about 10 to 15. I'm not going to shy away from that. It was a hard game for me. Apparently for others, it's a little bit easier. Who knows? But for me, it was a little bit hard. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. Speaking of hard games, we have Astro Bot. Astro Bot, I know what you guys are thinking. How can a kid's game be tough? And you're right. I'm going to put it in S tier for now and then defend it. How can it be tough? Well, it's tough in the way that the platinum is in itself is not tough. Some of the end levels are very tough. Some of those speedrun levels, not speedrun levels, but some of those I don't know what you would call them. Some of those endurance levels, even the speedrun, the DLC speedrun trophies, they can be tough. And I appreciate that, actually, to be honest. I hate it. I really, really do hate it because it stresses me out. And every time they release a whole bunch of new, really difficult super levels, it gives me an aneurysm, admittedly. But the overall game itself is fantastic. The art style is fantastic. Everything just flows fantastically throughout. And I thought it was a really fun game. Trophies were difficult. If you want to get the platinum, it's pretty easy. It's a little bit of a challenge for some of those end levels, especially some of those ultimate, run levels you need to do. But I wouldn't say it's like super hard. But then obviously once you get to the actual DLC trophies, that's when, a boy becomes a man sort of thing. And I appreciate that. That it's a part of DLC and not the main game. I know it came after, so it's like, eh. But yeah, I thought it was an S tier game, game of the year. Graphics were great, sound was great. It was a really fun game to play. So yeah, looking forward to the next version of Astro Bot, that's for sure. Teslagrad. Don't really have much to say about this one. This one's probably an F, just for the fact I didn't like it. It's a bit of a 2D side-scroller game. I didn't really understand it. I followed a guide the whole way through, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie about that. It's a game I started on the Vita years and years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I earned like one trophy. I think it was like probably for just starting the game. So it's been on the list for a while and it's bugged me. So I'm finally getting around to it using the guide. It still took me about 6 hours, I reckon. The guide only lasts for about 4 hours, but I had to do things over and over, pause and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's probably an F game. And that's really just the fact that I didn't enjoy it and I didn't really care for it. Let's School, another management game. This one I am putting in D. This one is very similar to Parkitect in that it had very specific and detailed ways in which it wanted you to get a trophy, but it didn't describe it very well. The trophy descriptions were horrendous. It's like you needed a trophy just to figure out what the trophy was, honestly. It was that hard. So for that reason, it gets a D. It was a little bit glitchy at times. I remember there was a few crashes that caused me to lose some things and some saves and some time and things like that. So it gets a D. If it wasn't for those sort of things, it's probably a C game. Would I recommend this game? It's hard to say. I thought it was a fun management game. Yeah, it's one where you run a school. You have to do like a whole bunch of different, you have to do, I think, 3 different schools. That was the annoying part, the 3 different schools. Trying to get the sports win, arts win, that was so annoying to get the wins on those, like the win conditions for those types. Because you had to come first with your sports team, but you had them, or your arts team, before the students actually graduated your school. And so obviously they're not in their prime until their final year. So you really only have final year to do it. And then once they graduate, you pretty much start again because you have to do the 3 years worth of training cycles for them. And it's just like, it's not good. And then you're up against the clock against academics, because obviously the good sports students are academically smart as well, because you have a good school, you have all the good facilities, because you want to keep them physically fit and things like that. So they're naturally just going to do well in the classes. And then so you're up against the clock and trying to stop the ability to finish the academic win before you get the sports or the arts win. A bit of a nightmare. I didn't like it, but yeah, that's how it went. Next up is Cookie Clicker. I was actually looking really forward to this game. This game is a bit of an interesting one on Steam. I know it has a couple hundred achievements. I'm going to put this one in E. So yeah, this game has a couple hundred achievements on Steam. Came to PlayStation about 45 trophies, I think, on the top of my head. Don't quote me on that one, but came with a pretty solid list. Essentially, you had to do everything on Steam that you had to do on PlayStation. So to get the 200 Steam achievements, you would get the platinum trophy. Essentially, it's instead of being steps along the way, it's really just the end step for the trophy. And so when you get the platinum trophy, you would have hit all those Steam achievements. I'm giving this game an E just because when I played it, the mobile version of Cookie Clicker has like offline version, which is pretty good. Cookie Clicker did not come with that. So essentially, Cookie Clicker on your PlayStation, it needed to be played on your PlayStation 24/7. You couldn't sleep your PlayStation, you couldn't stop your PlayStation, you couldn't do this and that. And so that was really frustrating because, you want to play another game, you can't. You got to put Cooker on. If you don't even want to, you don't even want to run the PlayStation all day. That's too bad. bad. You got to put cooker on, otherwise you're not playing it. I'm not too sure now if it has an offline mode. I hope it does. Probably a little bit more fun with an offline mode. You can probably do it a little bit more legit, but essentially I was sick of it at this stage. You know, I didn't want to keep my PlayStation on anymore. So you can use the command console within the game to sort of pop the in-game achievements, and then that triggers the trophy to pop. I'm not too sure if that still occurs, but yeah, no offline mode made this game an E. It wasn't, well, I didn't really enjoy it. Immortals Fenyx Rising. This game was another cleanup game. Got this when the PlayStation first came out. Ended up cleaning this one up. This one's a solid D. I don't think it was a very good game. I thought, you know, there was parts that were fun. Overall though, it sucked. The DLC sucked really badly. I get what they were trying to do. So essentially, I'll walk you through it. So the parts I didn't like in the main game were these dungeons. And you had to do these dungeons to get like upgrades and things like that. The dungeons were so boring. They were like these giant puzzles. They were super boring. I hated them. They were super long. You know, you could easily get stuck and it's just like, ugh, they just suck. Got through them, got the platinum trophy, all that sort of stuff. First DLC, it is only dungeon. It is a big giant map of about 25 of these stupid dungeons that didn't make the main game. And I just hated it every step of the way. It took me 15-ish, 20-ish hours to get through these stupid dungeon things. And then it was just like, oh, I just hated it so much. And then the next DLC, I can't remember if there was another one after this one, but I remember the next one, it was based in Asia. I thought this one was going to be really fun. But then you pretty much start your character all over again for this new DLC. It's like a whole new map, a whole new character, all that sort of stuff. And it just didn't click well with me. I just didn't think it was fun towards the end. I thought this game was very average. I appreciate the style, I appreciate the aesthetic, I appreciate the difference that Ubisoft took with this game, but it's like, it's a very 5 out of 10 game. And then when you throw in trying to get those trophies, it's like 4 out of 10. If it's just based on that one DLC with the dungeons, this is a horrible game, but it's not. It's a D. It's a D. Stellar Blade. I love Stellar Blade. This one, do I think it's an SS is the question. I think it's an SS. I thought Stellar Blade was fantastic. This was another one of those games where I started. I always have the problem with RPGs like this, where I started, I pretty much finished the game. Like I do one story playthrough and then I'm left to clean up, and I sort of stop there because, you know, my motivation sort of goes down once the story is completed. I know what happens and all that sort of stuff, and I just want to move on to the next one. This was one of those ones. I did go back. I got all the trophies. I got the New Game Plus and all that sort of stuff. I did all 3 endings and all that sort of stuff. Overall, this game was really fun. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a great first RPG from Shift Up. I'm really looking forward to what they do next. I thought the boss fights are fun. I thought the world was okay. I didn't really like the open world parts. I thought it was a bit boring because it was just deserts, just big open desert. But yeah, I thought it was fun. There was a few missable trophies and things like that. It took about 60 hours to do the full 2 playthroughs, and then obviously some saves coming for that 3rd ending. But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. Looking forward to the next one. It's definitely a double S game. I don't think it's triple S. It's not breaking the world, but I thought it was a really fun game. The graphics and visually were fantastic. Visually, this game, and even sound wise, this game was fantastic. The world outside of those 2 desert areas is fantastic as well. It did feel a little dead at times, but you know, it fits in with the setting. I thought it was a fun game. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Next one on the list is Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. Now, this is the first one that came out. This was another cleanup trophy. I'm conflicted what to put this one in, because it's probably a D or an E, in all honesty. Maybe even a C. I had fun when the game first came out on PlayStation Plus. I can't remember now, 10 years ago probably, on the PS4. I had fun with it, so it's probably a C then. But the grind now is essentially you're pretty much just like sitting in a corner with a rubber band in a server of like 3 other people trying to not get kicked. And if you're in Oceania like me, there is no servers. If you're in Europe or North America, you can still find servers of semi-active games, so you can still actually do it. But for me, for that reason that there's no servers, it's an E, right? In Oceania. And it just had to be a grind to get those trophies. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. The only reason it would probably be a D if the servers in Oceania were still up, and probably be a C if I did it when it first came out and I didn't leave the big giant grind. And you know what? It'll probably be a C if I could actually track the trophies. You know, there's trophies for you got to kill 100 of the sunflowers, 100 of the cactus, and etc. etc. But there's no way to track what you've actually killed. You're pretty much just guessing. And so you have to, like, you don't know what you've killed. You don't know how many of what you killed. So when you're boosting the trophy, you pretty much have to assume you're at 0. And it just sucks. Everyone has to do that. It makes the grind 10 times longer than it needs to be because you don't know exactly how many there is. And yeah, for that reason, it's an E. It's honestly an E. Motel Simulator, an F. This was a trash game. I can't remember how I got this game. I can't remember if I paid for this game or not, but this was a trash game. It was one of those games where the developer, I'm assuming the developer is new. I'm assuming it's also developed by a one-man team, and I'm assuming it's their first game. And I don't want to discredit the developer for that, because I think, you know, I want more developers or more games and things like that. But this game was, it's very bare bones. I feel like it's third of a game. You essentially come in, run a hotel simulator, a hotel or motel, I should say, not even a hotel, and you do these like rinky-dink upgrades. You unlock new rooms, new buildings, a pool, and all that sort of stuff. And the trophies were just weird. Like, you had to clean the pool like 100 times. It was weird. You had to empty the rubbish out of a room like 50 times. It was just like, and then you had to buy all the hotel upgrades and things like that. So it, like, in terms of management, it was okay, but honestly, all you did was essentially run to each room every single day, clean them out from the previous guests, because the guests always just leave random rubbish, right, for some stupid reason. So yeah, you had to do that, and then you run back to the check-in counter, you check in the guests that show up, and then you might get lucky and you might be able to clean the pool. And then you did that a whole bunch of times and you get the trophies. At the end, I eventually just started reloading a save that had, you just kept on going back to the main menu, back into the game each time, just in hopes to be able to clean the pool, because it was a random chance that the pool needed cleaning. You had to do it like 50 times. It was super annoying. Very, very bad game. I didn't enjoy it at all. Another cleanup game. Actually, the next couple are cleanup games. So Far Cry 4. I don't know where to land on Far Cry 4. I'm going to put it in C. Now, the reason for this one is because of the online again. The 2 online trophies took an absolute nightmare. I'm going to stand up late, like 4 hours, just on looking for a game, waiting for people to join. Like, there'll be me. I can't remember how many people we need to start a game. I think it's like 6. And there'll be 5 of us in a lobby, and we'll all be messaging each other because we're randoms. We'll all be messaging each other because we're all going for the trophy, right? And we'll all be messaging each other, being like, do you have a friend that can join? Do you have a friend that can join? Because you need 6 to start the game. And, you know, we'll be there just waiting for a 6th person trying to join to start the online game. And it just sucked, honestly. I thought the game overall was pretty fun. Nothing special. For Far Cry 3 was much superior. It really tried to recreate it, but didn't do it very well. The DLC, a bit boring. It's the same with Immortals. I don't know why Ubisoft doing this, where the DLC, you essentially start from square one again. So you lose like all your good equipment and weapons and things like that. And it's just like you have to re-unlock them. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't like it. Don't do it. Just start a new game if you're going to do it that way, you know. So yeah, I think it's a C. I think it's an average game. 5, 6 out of 10. Nothing special. The next one on our list, Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game had so much hate when it first came out. I didn't buy it when it first came out. I got it a little bit later, played a little bit, and then gave up on it. Came back to it. It's one of my more prouder platinum trophies that I have in my collection, and I think it's an S game. Honestly, I do. I thought the trophy list was fantastic. You know, complete the campaign. The campaign was pretty alright. There was a lot of hate online on Reddit from what I was reading, but I thought it was pretty good. Honestly, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought the trophy list was really good. The graphics on this game is fantastic. For a PS4 game, this game is still one of, if not the best looking games there is. It's fantastic. I love the multiplayer on this game. I love playing player. You know, just switching between Rebels, and then obviously, you know, you got the Rebels, Stormtroopers, CIS, Clone Troopers, even the First Order and whatever you call the stupid Rebels in that era. Like, even some of those maps are really fun. Not as they're probably my least favorite still, but I thought this game was really fantastic. A lot of people have issues with the 25 ships in Hero Starfighter mode. I get it. It was a challenge. It was a grind. I thought the mode was still pretty fun though. I had fun doing it. It sucked having to try and get those kills, but I eventually got it. It's hard, but it's not super difficult. And yeah, I thought it was a very good game. Very good game. I really liked FBC Firebreak. This is another Helldivers situation but worse. The game is worse than Helldivers. It's very confusing. It doesn't explain. When I first played this game when it first came to PlayStation Plus, I don't know what it does now, but it explains nothing. You don't understand anything, and it just throws you in there, and it's just weird. Overall, I think the game is really fun. It has some unique sort of missions and levels and things like that, and I think they're adding more. I'm not too sure what's happening with the game, to be honest. It's another game where I think it's a live service game and they need some DLC trophies. The game's probably dead now though, so I probably don't want any DLC trophies on it. It was pretty dead when I went back clean up months later, but yeah, look, it's a worse Helldivers. It's set in the universe of Control. It's a bit of a unique one, but it's a D. It's not too special. It's not too special. All right, Keeper's Toll. Keeper's Toll is a very good game. I'm gonna put this one in B. Keeper's Toll is essentially, I don't know what the right word to describe these type of games are, but it's a Vampire Survivors type game, right? I thought it was very fun. I love games like that. I played Brotato as well. Can't remember if there's any others on the PlayStation. I think the PlayStation's actually quite lacking these style of games. I think there's a lot on Steam. I've been following them. They need to come out on PlayStation. If you're watching this, developers, please bring these type of games out on PlayStation. I have a good trophy list as well. In my opinion, a trophy list there's no no limit to the amount of trophies like you can have. There's always too little. There is never too many. So with games like this, feel free to have as many trophies as you want to have 100% in the game. So with Keeper's Toll, you pretty much had to do 100% of the game, and I appreciate that. A game that has 100% and you get the platinum trophy where you pretty much 100% of the game, fantastic. I love it. And so that's why it's a B. It's a very good Vampire Survivor style game. There's really no complaints about it. It's not as good as Vampire Survivors, but it's still a very good game. It's a very good game. I highly recommend it if you like that style of game. It's very fun. Next up is Sword of the Sea. This one was a PlayStation Plus game. It sort of surprised me. I wasn't initially going to play it. I started playing it and I was like, well, it was a very fun game. It did require some guides to find some of the collectibles throughout the world. I thought it was a very fun game. I thought the style was really unique and fun. I had a speedrun trophy, but it wasn't too bad once you have the New Game Plus and all that sort of stuff. The final boss was tough. I think there was a trophy for beating the final boss without getting damaged. That was the hardest trophy. I did it though, so it's not that bad. Overall, it's a big game. Very, very good graphically. Very good, fun game. Didn't take me too long. I think I finished it in like 6 to 10 hours, I think it was, over 2 nights. But yeah, it was a fun game. I thought it was a B. Definitely a B game. Yeah. Throne and Liberty. This game was a big MMO when it first came out. I played a little bit when it first came out and then put it down for about a year and a bit. I'm going to put it in D and I'm going to explain why. It's based on recent trends. So when I came back to this game and did the trophy cleanup, you have the world bosses. And I thought it was really fun. You know, I'll hop on, do the world bosses, do the story. So you have the story, you have to complete the story, you get the trophies for the story, and then you do the world bosses. You show up, you pretty much just hit him. As long as you hit him, you get the trophy. It's really easy. You complete the dungeons, you have to complete like all the dungeons as well. It was a good trophy list. Actually, I'm going to put it in C. It's a good trophy list for 100% of the game for an MMO. There's no DLC trophies, which is a big shame. You know, they've added a whole bunch of new stuff to this game, but they've added no new trophies. A big shame. Big L there. And then the new update they did is they no longer have world bosses spawn, essentially. From my understanding from reading the forums, you have to join a guild and the guild have to summon the boss now. They don't summon as like a world overspawn boss, which I think is a big L. I thought that was a really good mechanic. I thought it was fantastic. Doesn't do it anymore. Don't like it. And I think, you know, based on when I played it, it's a C. I would probably put it in an E or a D if I had to do it through a guild. That's just the truth of it. It sucked, but it is what it is. All right, we have Plate Up. Plate Up it's an interesting game. It's essentially like Overcooked, but you run the restaurant. And it's very similar to Flooded, where there's no real way to technically win. I know you go on YouTube, there is people who do win on they're on overtime day 99 and things like that. The longer you play, the more stuff you get, the better you get and things like that. I thought the trophies are a bit annoying. They were a bit glitched. You have to do like certain special levels with certain seeds to get the trophies, and then sometimes they didn't work because they changed the seeds, they changed the things, and it's just like, it was just an game. I'm gonna put nah, these are fair game. It's a fun co-op game. If you're not worried about trophies, it's a very fun co-op game. If you're worried about trophies, it's a D. It's as simple as that. Curse to Golf, it's an E. I didn't like this game at all. Curse to Golf is a roguelike sort of golf game where you're playing a weird game of mini golf and you got to essentially do a whole bunch of challenges. You got to complete the game, which took me a while actually, and then you got to do like a whole bunch of weird challenges, like get a hole in one and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't sound as hard as what it is. But you got to remember, these holes in this game, they're big. They're not meant to be done in 1, 2, 3 shots. They're meant to be done in 10, 15, 20 shots. And I just didn't really enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the game that much. It was a game I had to come back and clean up. I started it initially. I thought I was going to enjoy it when it first came out. Played it, got 2 trophies out of the 18 that there is. Just hated it so much. I didn't come back for like 4 more years. Came back a little bit. Got a couple more trophies. Still hated it. Dropped it. Hid it from my profile because I hated it that much, and then ended up going back to it. I talked to some of the other people who got the platinum trophies on it, and they told me about some glitches and things like that to help with the trophies. And yeah, eventually went back and got those trophies. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy this game, so that's why it's a D. PUBG. This one is an S for me. I loved PUBG. When it first came out, I hated it. And in my opinion, PUBG is the perfect example of every multiplayer game should have the option to play with bots. For example, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. I should, in Oceania, if there's no players available, I should be able to join a lobby and there be bots. It's that simple. And PUBG allows you to do that. And they allows you to earn like rank points and things like that. And it's so much fun just teaming up with a bunch of friends and going up against the bots, and even in the actual lobbies and things like that. It's a really fun game. I thought it was great fun. I can see how, you know, when the game first came out, well, this is another cleanup game as well, by the way. I can see how when the game first came out and how sweaty it was and how difficult it would have been to get the platinum trophy. It was a little bit annoying getting the crossbow kills, because the crossbow is such a weird, random, rare spawn. But overall, once you get those annoying crossbow auto kills, grenade kills, and things like that done. They're not too difficult because you can just down the person with any weapon and then just run up to them with the crossbow or the grenade or the frying pan and just hit them essentially. Yeah, I thought it was an alright game. Better than alright. An S rank game. Need for Speed Unbound. This one is C again. Another C. So the reason why I put this one in C is because I don't think it's better than Need for Speed Heat. I thought Heat was better. This game is a little bit weird. It focuses more on the online. Need for Speed Heat had the online in the same mode, so you could play like the same thing online, offline. It was just like depending on your internet connection. This one is completely separate, so you had to log into the online mode. Your level was different. You didn't have the same cars. It was the same world, but everything was pretty much reset. Really didn't like that way. The online trophies and the trophies in general are very similar. I thought the driving was a little bit Obviously, it's got newer cars and things like that. The city looked a little bit cooler. I just thought it was a worse version of Need for Speed Heat, to be honest, in almost every single way. I thought Heat was really fun. If Heat was on this list, it would be a B. This one's a C. I don't think it's a bad game necessarily. I think it's still a pretty fun game, but I don't think it's better than a C. And so yeah, that's why it is a C. Discounty. This one's a D. This one is a fun sim-like game where you essentially run a shopping mart. I thought this was a really fun game. I thought the story was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, it's plagued by a few glitches, and the developers never acknowledged or bothered to fix them, specifically related to the trophies. I think they fixed some of the other glitches, but they didn't bother fixing any of the trophy glitches, at least when I was playing. And I waited for a while for them to try and fix them. But the only way was to really delete your save and start again, which I had to do. Luckily, it was one of those early trophies that didn't take too long to get, about 45 minutes an hour on top of what it should have to get that trophy. So it's a pretty fun game, unfortunately plagued by bugs. You essentially run a supermarket. It's pretty fun. You end up getting one staff member who helps you out, but I feel like it should have been a little bit more. But yeah, I thought it was alright. Yeah, but yeah, just plagued by glitches was what's the D. Ghost of Yorte. This one is a solid C for me. I've been saying to everyone who asks, essentially, how is this game good? It's okay. This game is a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's an alright game. I thought in my opinion, it's worse than Tsushima. I think Tsushima is much superior. This game is beautifully looking, beautifully sounding game. I just think the story in this game is very weak. The motivations of the main character, very lame. All the characters are very lame motivations. They all just suck. Honestly, everything about the main story is just, it's just boring. Honestly, the main story. It's cliche. It's predictable. It's just, nah. And then the cleanup was a little bit of annoying, finding everything, because you don't really have it. You have a map, but you got to find everything for it to actually show up on the map, which I don't hate, but it just made it annoying. The fights are really challenging. If you want to challenge, some of these fights can be really challenging, especially on the hard difficulties. By really challenging, I mean very challenging. So there's that. But yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's a good game. I think it's an okay game. I think it's an alright, and so that's why it's getting a C. V Rising. Miles, I know if you're watching this, you're going to give me a lot of hate for this one, but this one's probably, I'm thinking D, but it's probably a C. And that's because the game gives you a lot of freedom. You can play the game however you want. If you want to play the game on easy difficulty, where you get 1,000 resources per hit and still get trophies, you can do that. If you want to play in the hardest difficulty and get 1 resource per hit, you can do that too. It just gives you the freedom to play how you want. And the trophies are really good. The trophies, essentially, to get all the trophies, you pretty much have to complete 100% of the game. You have to complete all the bosses and all that sort of stuff, which I appreciate. So that's always good. Overall, this is a solid game. I don't think it's a great game. I thought it was a fun game. Towards the end, I think, Miles, you'll agree on this one. It sort of overstayed its welcome a little bit. Yeah, glad to get that platinum done, but it's a pretty good fun game. Probably lasts you about 40 hours to play legit. Play on some of the easier settings and things like that. You can probably do it around 15, 20, as I said in my platinum walkthrough video. All right, Ball X Hit. This one's an A. Actually, it could be an S. But I think it fits in A. So this one is an upcoming video. I've got the platinum video for this one, working through this one, through editing the video for this one. But I think it's a very fun game. To get the platinum trophy on this one, you pretty much have to complete every level with every character, and I appreciate that. Honestly, it's the best way I can describe it is a Vampire Survivors pinball game. That's the best way I can describe it, and it's really fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed playing this game. I loved playing this game, and for the price of it, it was really good. I'm looking forward to DLC for this game or the next game. I'm hoping that they do trophies for it. I believe they will, but I'm just hoping that they will. But yeah, I love this game. I think it's an A game. This is a solid game. Yeah, it's a great game. Next up, we have Power Wash Sim 2. This one is a B, simply because I don't think it's better than the first game. Graphically, it looks better, but the worlds, I can't remember if there's a platinum video for this one coming as well. Spoilers for this one. It's shorter. I didn't find the worlds that we had to power wash as fun. I thought some of the new new mechanics were really gimmicky and stupid. For example, the harness system just didn't work properly. Well, it did work, but like it's just clunky to control. It's just like there was memory leak issues, so the game started lagging really badly, and it was just like, ugh. The trophies are alright, very similar to the first game. I'm looking forward to the DLC in this game as well. Visually, it's an improvement from the previous game, but it's just like more of the same, to be honest. What I really wanted to see was some water physics and have the water, like, so when you're washing something, the water drained down, so you had to actually clean from top to bottom. I don't know, I thought that would be a fun sort of mode. In the first game, there was like a challenge mode. There's like modes missing in this game, because the first game has like a challenge mode where you can do a certain amount of challenges where you either do it in a certain amount of time or with a certain amount of water. That's completely missing from this game. It's just not even there. I'm not too sure what's coming soon. I have looked at the roadmap. There's a whole bunch of free stuff coming and a whole bunch of paid DLC. They're going to do a paid DLC every quarter. I'm assuming the developers are going to do paid DLC trophies only. I don't hate them for that. I think it's perfectly fine to have paid DLC trophies. I just wish they did trophies for some of their free updates. I don't know why they don't, in all honesty. It could just be 1-2 trophies, just complete the level. I don't know why they're not doing that. I hope they do that for this one. They didn't in the first one, so I'm not too confident that they will in this one, but we'll just have to see. Alienation. This one, it's hard for me to put it in D. The only reason why I'm putting this one in D, and there's no video for this one because it's a cleanup game. I started back in the day in 2017 when it first came out on the PS4. This one is hard for me because I actually thought the game was pretty fun. It's a very fun style game. It's a twin stick sort of alien shooter. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy having to play through the game like a million different times with the different characters, but you know, I appreciate a game that has 100% requirements. What I didn't like was the hardcore. You had to reach level 30 and complete the campaign on hardcore. Really didn't like that. Really against anything hardcore, just because of the way hardcore is, you know. So yeah, that's the reason why it's a D. And then our final game, Expedition 33. This one's an easy one, guys. I think we all know where this one's going. This one is going in Triple S, and it doesn't really need any explanation for this one. This game, not just trophy-wise, but this game in general, the story in this game is the best. This is the game of the decade. This is not a game of the year. This is the game of the decade. This is a game so good that no other game really stands up with this game. Visually, this game is not the greatest visually. It's pretty alright. It's pretty decent. It's not the most amazing, but the story, the music, the gameplay, the side characters, conversations the characters have, even the collecting of the collectibles in each of the levels, the side bosses, the side content. It was just all fun. I didn't think it was a chore at any stage. Yes, I did the same as Stellar Blade, where I finished the campaign, took a break, and had to come back for it, but that's just me. I thought this game was fantastic every single step of the way. I loved it so much that I was sad it ended, in all honesty. I'm sad there's no new trophies for the new bosses that came out, the new update after the Game Awards, but it is what it is. Very keen for the next game. This is an easy way to finish off the list. This was the last game I platinumed in 2025. I think I finished this one really close to the end of the year, actually. It was like almost 30th December, 31 December, I finished Expedition 33, but it's a deserved game. It's a great way to finish off the trophy tier list, and it's the only one that really deserved less. In my opinion, Triple S is like 1 in 10,000 games get Triple S. Double S is like 1 in 1,000. S is like 1 in 100. A is like 1 in 10 maybe, which is pretty consistent actually, because 1 in 10, we got 40 platinums, so 1 in 10 is 40, and then so on and so on. So it makes sense. And look, I'll be honest, I'm a harsh judger, and you can probably see that with how it skews C downwards, like it sort of skews this way. But you know, that's just my opinion. If you guys think otherwise of any of the platinum trophies that I've ranked tiered here, please let me know down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. There's a couple of new videos coming out for the platinum trophies that I've hinted in this tier list that are still being edited through. There's obviously a lot more that I'm working on currently as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next platinum trophy.